Welcome back. Well, it's a weekday for the markets, but there are a couple of stocks which are managing to hold their head up above the water, and how. One such stock is Suven Life, which is off the day's high, but is still surging in trade today. It's up over 7%. Now, the news on the company is that the company has announced the randomization of the first patient in phase 3 global trials for its molecule under study, SUVN-502. It is being studied for dementia in Alzheimer's. So what this means is that they've managed to recruit the first patient who is going to be able to take this medicine as they have dementia with Alzheimer's, and then we will assess whether this particular molecule actually works or not. Venkat Jasti, the chairman and CEO at Suven Life Sciences, joins in now to discuss more on this development and their business. Mr. Jasti, hi, thank you very much for taking the time out. If you could just give us the significance of the first patient being recruited, because the stock is up 7%. So make us understand how difficult a process it actually is.
Yes, thanks for the call. And I just want to clarify that the trial is for the agitation and aggression in Alzheimer type dementias, not Alzheimer's itself. So, Suven 502 is tried on 560 patients earlier for Alzheimer's disease, cognition in Alzheimer's disease. And because it has to be given on top of 2 other drugs, it did not meet the endpoint for the Alzheimer's. But the secondary endpoints at that time gave a clear indication that it will be good for the agitation and aggression in Alzheimer type dementias. Hence, since 560 patients given a very good the safety profile, we have gone to the FDA, and the FDA agreed to make this compound for the agitation and aggression because it has a small number of people out of the 560 patients. We need to do a bigger study, and this will be a solo molecule. That means it will not be on top of anything. It will be purely Suven 502, 2 strengths plus a placebo, and on a 375 patients. And it will be for a 12-week trial. And for the randomization, it's a first milestone in the sense because it has the inclusion-exclusion criteria. And in the US, we started recruiting people. Now, first patient is randomized. That means he has taken medication. And in Europe, it will be a couple of months from now. The trial will end sometime in first quarter of 2025. If everything goes well, then the readout will be in the second or third quarter of 2025.
Okay. All right. Mr. Jasti, the street wants to know 2 things. One, what is the potential of this molecule, considering that it was also a secondary endpoint in the earlier study where SUVN-502 was being studied for only Alzheimer's, and that did not meet the endpoint. That wasn't successful for Alzheimer's. So what is the potential now? And 2, is there any kind of out-licensing opportunity for this particular molecule? Have you already heard back from partners? Are you in talks?
As far as out-licensing is concerned, no, not at all, because in central nervous system diseases, there is no drug is for treatment, and especially nothing is available for the agitation and aggression, and the potential will only be known, but it will be huge potential compared to, because since 2003, no new drug is developed for Alzheimer's. Whatever they developed are now they are gone wayside, and the agitation aggression is a part of that thing, and that's where we are targeting. And as per the estimates, it will be a billion plus sales will be there minimum. But since there is no drug available at this time, you cannot estimate anything. But our goal is to get the positive end result, and that will take another 3.5 years before you can see anything tangible. In this business, it's a 0 to 1. There is no in between. So just because we started has no meaning, because it has to go a long way.
Right, that's right, and we hope that the trials are successful. Of course, the trials are expected to end sometime by quarter 1 of 2025. In that period, Mr. Jasti, can you quantify what kind of cost will you have to incur on these trials, and what are the plans? How do you plan to fund those costs as well?
It will cost roughly about $35 million for this molecule alone. And as you know, we have just closed our rights issue We have raised 400 crores of rupees, and with 8%, 7.5% over subscription in the rights issue, just closed on 10th of this month. And it will be listing permissions are also applied. So for now, this will be sufficient for that purpose and for other molecule also. Hoping the other molecules, Suven 3031, the data will come out sometime middle of next year, calendar next year. And if that is good, there is a possibility, because that is a phase 2 proof of concept study for the excessive daytime sleepiness, that has a provision for the out licensing and collaborative making it to phase 3 also. So either we get some funding by that time, or a collaboration or out licensing can happen. But otherwise, we have enough funds for the next 3 years to take care of the existing molecules.
Right. Mr. Jasti, you were thinking of listing the US arm, right? I just wanted to know that does this approval in any way increase the confidence of people and maybe make you, list the US arm earlier than expected? Because that's what you said will take, your US arm to be listed.
Yes, this has a positive tone towards that, but the phase 2 proof of concept that will be for the Suven 3031 will have much more stronger effect, and we are in the process of working out, but it takes 18 months before you could see any kind of a alignment into listing on that basis. So we are working in tandem, but we'll see the results in mid of next year, and that will speed up the things for the listing also. Unless, meanwhile, if we have the out-licensing opportunity, that also will be looking at it.
Mr. Jasti, I just wanted to touch base on that out-licensing opportunity for a different molecule. You did mention that one of your molecules is under study. Correct me if I'm wrong, it's 303 SUVN, and that's for excessive sleepiness. And you did mention that maybe you will get more data about it probably in the next year odd. Are you seeing any sort of interest in that particular molecule when it comes to out-licensing, or any other?
Not only that molecule, all the molecules are interested by the big pharma and the specialty pharma. They are all asking for the data, but nobody wants to put even a dime before it has a proof of concept. Everybody is interested, they're taking the information and keeping it handy. When the things happen, then they will come to us. Until that time, there will not be anything will be done other than sharing the information.
So nothing till you get the data for 303 next year?
Yes, the middle of next year.
Okay.
Okay, all right, Mr. Jasti, it was a pleasure speaking with you, sir. Thanks a lot for joining us, telling us what this means for the company and what your plans are with this trial going forward as well. That's the word coming in from Suven Life Sciences. The stock up 8% as we speak. Let's do one thing, slip into a short break. Up next, we'll be joined by Rajiv Gandhi, who's the MD and CEO at Hester Biosciences, to discuss company's Q2 earning performance. Stay tuned.